We're Laura and Brian, better known as a couple of quins. We love our city of Dayton, old houses, and dogs.
We're currently putting the finishing touches on our most recent restoration project and adapting to our new lives, moving from downtown to historic Grafton Hill.
Okay, it's only a 5-minute drive, so it's not like it's that big of a change.
But that's only the beginning as we tackle new projects and pursue a life on fire.
For us, that means working how and when we want.
We hope you'll follow along to see what's next.
Opportunity for you guys this week. We are here with the Minnie Project.
I'm Tom.
I'm Martha.
So these guys bought this place, what was it, something last year?
The beginning of last year.
We're gonna give you a tour and kind of talk about a little about what their process has been, work that they've done so far, point out any cool details along the way. So I definitely want to hear more about the buying process because I'm also a realtor. So I remember when this property hit the market, I remember the buzz that it created. I know people personally who have put bids in on the house. Okay. So nobody knew who was going to get it or anything. So you guys are the lucky winners. Yeah. I mean, did you feel the pressure buying it? Did you feel pressure to write a really good offer? Or?
It was our first time putting an offer in a house. Actually, I was in California and Martha was here in Dayton.
I was here, but I didn't even see it before we put an offer in or anything. I didn't really think we were going to get it. I knew that a lot of people were coming to see it and putting in offers, and so I just was really surprised when we did get it. And then we were like, oh, we should probably go see the house that we just bought. So.
What was it like when you came in for the first time? Were you terrified? Were you like, what did we get ourselves into? Or were you just excited?
I feel like the first time I came in, like the pictures kind of cover up things, like maybe like in the picture it looks really good, but then when you get inside you're like, oh, I didn't see that, or like it looks a little bit more scary when you see it in person, but not too scary that we backed out or anything. So
but we didn't see the house when we bought it, so obviously that we had to mentally prepare, like expect the worst, so it was easier when we go through. And we didn't have much experience fixing houses, so in a way that was kind of positive for us because
had no experience.
If we knew more, we would not like would be probably chicken out or something. But
right, you didn't know quite how much work it was going to be.
So we were pretty optimistic and like we get this done in a year or two.
Right, just over the summer and we'll be ready.
Yeah.
Wow. So interestingly, I've been in this house before, and it was before it was on the market. You mentioned that St. Anne's Hill has the garage sale, the annual like neighborhood garage sale. The man that owned it must have been whoever you bought it from, had it kind of an open house and had some things for sale inside of here. So Brian and I came through and I just remember there being like holes in the floor and plywood, and it seemed like there were areas that were unsafe. Am I remembering that correctly?
Oh, you're totally correct.
And like, was it that way when you walked in, or had he done more work?
There was plywood, the same.
Okay.
For the most part, how it looks now, minus all of this stuff, is pretty much what it looked like down here at least.
Okay.
So mostly all the work we've done is
I show you the holes when we walk through.
Okay.
There's still holes in the floor.
This room, like, I think, sorry, we have furniture here, but I'm in love with the mantelpiece. I don't think there's a second piece like that. Well, Oh, Martha have some.
My sister got those on clearance, and then I just put them up there. And I forgot that they were there. Yes, you can see this is our little Harry Potter room.
Coat closets.
Yeah, probably a coat closet, the most boring thing. We've thought about making it like a little reading nook or even a half bath, but
Yeah, it's like, are you really gonna sit in there and read? I still love the idea of it. It's amazing how high up we are. I mean, this is the first floor.
It's challenging to walk outside though.
yeah, for sure. Somebody from our Instagram, they wrote us and said that their great grandparents lived here as a kid, and then the people that bought the house after them found like a bunch of buried gold treasure in that room there. So then they like sold the house and then bought a plantation in the south. So if they hadn't found it, it could have been us.
Yeah.
Interesting story. Yeah, it makes you wonder what else could possibly still be
We
here.
keep our eyes open as we're looking for things, so.
Yeah, we didn't find too many hidden treasures in our house, unfortunately. We found a few little interesting things here and there, but certainly nothing of value.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. We haven't either yet, so.
Just rats.
Yeah, a rat
Rat
skeleton.
skeletons and some tools and a picture of the house, which was nice. Like the plywood on the floor.
Yes, but I think he had sheets of plywood over it, so we
Yeah.
didn't know what was under it. I just
So
remember
this one
feeling
happened.
very like,
You see
Yeah.
on the wall, like
was there a
it's supposed to be
bathroom?
wall. It was a
Yeah.
bathroom. That's a toilet. And then the shower's coming here. So all of the under the plywood, all of it was like what's the word? They all rotted woods. And
Oh,
so
wow.
I replaced the subfloor. So now it's sturdy now.
Okay, so was this divided into apartments at one point in time?
Yeah, so it was divided into 4 apartments, and so there's an added entrance on like a front door in the room over there. Someone told us that there was a wall here, so like when you entered in the store, you had to go upstairs.
Okay.
But there were 4 different apartments. I think there were like 2 on this floor and then 2 upstairs. And so there was a wall here, and then this was the bathroom, I think, probably for this side. Who knows? Yeah.
What's it been like living in a construction zone?
So we moved in right after the wedding. That was our plan.
Okay.
Right after the honeymoon, we moved in. So what happened is we fixed up 2 rooms just for living space, so it kind
Okay.
of separates us from the rest of the house. So I will show you later, but we have like 1 room, living room, kitchen, and then 1 room bedroom. Yeah, so fix up 2-3 rooms as we go.
Okay.
So expand our living zone as we go and kind of have it separated. So I don't think it's bad at all.
Okay, that's a good way to
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
So do you have a finished bathroom?
Yes.
Kind of.
Kind
So when we first moved in, we only had like 1 bedroom, and so like in that room was like our kitchen, like in the corner, and then we have a toilet just kind of down here
Okay.
in the open, and then a sink upstairs. But we had to go shower at family's house.
Okay, well, I'm impressed. I mean, that just says dedication right there. You guys are dedicated to this old house if you're willing to live without a shower and with a toilet downstairs in the open.
It just makes it feel like a luxury now that we do have a shower. Like
Yeah.
we can shower in our own house. It's amazing.
You appreciate every like basic thing that we can fix up, like a sink or a toilet.
Yeah.
You're like, oh wow, that's nice. Or like
Yeah.
water. For a while we didn't have water.
Yeah.
Or like a light in the room, like it's like nice.
Yeah, that's true. I remember at the Fed, we had the water shut off for so long. And finally, when we were able to have water and just be able to wash our hands
Mhm.
at the workplace, because your hands are just gross all the time.
Yeah.
It does make you appreciate.
Have a lot
So
of
was
tools in
this
here.
the formal dining room?
Yes, I think so, with the built-in cabinet. That's
Okay, yeah, I feel like it was, like a china cabinet, and then a lot of times they had the bowed windows, but
Yeah,
It's
this
gorgeous.
pocket door. Pocket door. We have 2 sets. Yeah, but if even into separate spaces, it's great.
it's gorgeous. All right, well, yeah, there's Still a lot of work to go.
Yes.
Do you know what kind of wood you have?
This is tiger oak, I think. That's what.
Okay.
It looks very similar to what we have in
Yeah.
the dining room and living room. Yeah, they told us that it was red oak with
Quarter
did they say
sawn.
quarter sawn, and that's
Quarter sawn,
that's
yeah.
what gives it that kind of stripe effect.
Yeah. Even on the floor, they usually have oak on this side, and then in the middle is pine. So it's kind of a cool design.
Yeah.
Where
So
the
they like lace it in the corner.
Yeah, that's beautiful. So are you going to try to match it over here? What's your plans for this
Yeah.
space?
Yes.
I actually find salvage wood from somewhere and then lace it in and try to recreate that on this side. So
Wow. That sounds like a difficult but yet kind of fun project at the same time.
satisfying project.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's kind of our storage room for now, but you have another fireplace, original fireplace. It's beautiful.
Yes, it is. I love those curved lines. It's a really interesting design. It almost this looks craftsman, but then the curves are very like Art Deco.
Art Nouveau-ish almost in here at least.
Are there lights in here?
There's gas.
Or was there?
If you look up, there's gas.
Oh, okay.
Gas. Yeah.
So there are probably little lanterns that probably, reflected in the mirrors.
Yeah, the same.
Wow.
They have this door. I think it's one. It was divided into apartments.
Mhm.
They enter through here. So I'm not sure if we want to put the window back in. So that would be a big project, putting a window back in there, because originally it's the window. So
So what's this over here that you tore out? Was it
That,
like
was
a
like
closet?
that was like that.
It was like
It
It
that.
must have been a closet, but that was like that when we got here.
So do you have dreams? Like what's your vision for this room one day?
maybe a library.
Yeah, it's kind of a wild card. I'm not really sure. Could be an office. Could be another bedroom. Could be a piano room. A
That would be
library.
nice. I know. I love grand old homes with pianos.
Yeah, Martha play piano, so she always look up like mini grand piano and stuff.
Yeah, I like the old Victorian ones.
Yeah, it would go perfectly in here.
Probably now that we talk about it, it would look nice.
Probably
Yeah.
still have a library too, because
Yeah.
the books would be great sound absorption.
Yeah.
There you go. That's it.
And then shelf,
Thank you.
piano in the middle, chandelier over the piano. I can see it. I love these windows.
Mhm.
Yeah.
These are my favorite windows in the house too. I think that matches the
built-in cabinet.
building.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the same pattern.
This is gonna be our kitchen.
Okay.
We're gonna have a stove, a sink, the fridge go there, and the cooler cabinet here. And then some loose kitchen island with this loose furniture.
This will be a good sized kitchen when it's done.
Yeah, and then we have, so that we think was originally like a servant staircase over around the corner.
Okay.
And if you go in here,
But we'll make that
Like
into
up and around.
yeah, we'll make that into a butler pantry.
Okay. I like that idea.
And then when we got here, the stairs were just like in a big hole. It was just a big hole in the floor in the middle, which was not original
the
to the
stair
house.
was-
That was added later.
you go down here, and then you would hit your head all the time. But we moved it over here to the basement.
I think I remember your post when you did that. I'm like, man, I live in staircases. I don't know what it was like before, but it seems to make more sense having it out of the way. This was like
Yeah.
right in the middle of the room.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was added later on too. There's no access to the basement, but we have an outside door. So yeah.
Yeah, and then this was just kind of like a weird, like there was a closet right here, and then just like a door there into this just random
Walkway.
room, and then there was a second back door that had been added So that was kind of made the most sense.
So,
The best place to move it. So.
Yeah.
And
so
then
we're
have
gonna
our
make
bathroom
this
here.
bathroom.
So will this be full bath or half bath?
Yes, a full bath.
Okay.
So back around the corner there will be the shower.
Very nice. I like that you have so much space, and this is beautiful.
Yeah, there's a mirror that's in the other room that goes with the Eastlake style.
Okay, I
Yeah.
noticed the mirror.
Yeah, just where we store our wood pile and gonna make this your workstations.
Yeah, it's not bad down here.
No, yeah,
Yeah, eventually we'd like to finish it, but that's
way down.
way down. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty low on the list of priorities.
Now, are these like pocket doors from the house, or are these
Yeah,
from
I
something
don't-
else?
I don't know. I don't think they came from this house that we
Yeah,
know
I'm not
of.
sure.
Okay.
But yeah,
they look
they-
beautiful there.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm gonna have to take them down and do some. I don't know why they need a wall to them.
We joke and said,
Yeah, we call this the torture room. If you're gonna kidnap someone, this is where you
Yeah.
do that. So there's some random drawing on the wall.
So up until this point, have you done most of the work yourselves, or what? Is there anything that you're hiring out?
yeah. I think we had the big jobs like HVAC, electric, plumbing. Then
Like the porch, like the balcony on the second floor, we'll show you that.
yeah, it was falling down. Like they raised it up. I don't know how many, like 6 or 7 inches.
7 inches. Yeah.
So
Wow.
that was a big raise.
Yeah, I remember driving past that a lot on
Mhm.
Kiwi. It's like
Yeah.
every day, just like that thing's gonna fall.
Yeah,
Stay-
that's what we thought. Every time we thought like we were gonna come home and it was just gonna be on the ground.
We were scared to walk out the balcony.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think we just had like a general, not a general contractor, but like some handyman, and then I work with him, or we work together. And but the windows, and we try to do as much as we can, unless we have some deadline. Like my mom is coming to visit, so I had to hire people to fix up some stuff,
Yeah.
Oh,
Help us with
wow.
your room. To,
get the room done.
she's
for my
gonna stay
mom.
here too,
Yeah.
so.
But most of it, if we do it slow and you can do it the way you want it to be done, and save some money. So yeah,
And it's like every new project we do, we're just having to learn a new skill because we don't know how to do anything. So
Mhm.
but we improve a lot, like
yeah. Learning a lot.
Like you
Farmhouse safe.
Yeah, this
Old
is a
doors.
very large basement. I mean, it's the whole footprint of the house, but sometimes a section of it will be crawl space or something. But so, did you put all this in?
Mm-hmm.
So this, you were saying this was what you hired out. So you got new HVAC,
Yeah,
water
It was already
heater.
there.
that was there. Yeah,
Okay.
but new plumbing because it was old.
Yeah, it was kind of broken cast iron.
Yes, it will break
So-
down over time.
Yeah, but
So what is this? Is this a furniture piece or something that came out
Yeah,
of the
it's
house?
a table that I bought from the Boston mansion. So I'm gonna try
it's
to
a project
refinish it.
piece.
A project piece, yeah.
Oh. It's fun
Very
to have
cool.
a project within your project, right?
Right. Yes.
Yeah,
Got too many projects.
Well, it's gonna be beautiful. Now, are you gonna reuse this?
Well, I think we're gonna reuse this one.
So we have two kind of similar ones.
Okay.
So we'll use one of them.
This one. For now,
Oh.
temporarily.
Oh wow!
Yeah, good choice.
Yeah, this one's way better.
So
than
this
the
was
other one.
here, or did you find this
No,
somewhere?
we just acquire things from marketplace and stuff like that we want to use.
Okay.
Yeah,
We
So
do the
you
same.
guys are the competition buying up all the cool stuff.
That's nice.
I show you guys upstairs.
Okay.
Yeah, upstairs. So it used to be what's it called?
Stained glass.
Yeah, stained glass on these 3 windows,
Mm-hmm.
but it was stolen years ago.
Yeah, so the story we heard was that someone came and was like, I'm here to repair the stained glass windows, and then like took them out and left with them and were never seen again.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Makes you
See
wonder
what
where
they
they
look like.
are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably not all together, unfortunately. It's probably like
Yeah.
sold to 3
Yeah.
different people.
What do you guys think of the red paint?
The red paint is an interesting choice.
Blood balls.
Yeah.
Yeah, we get mixed reviews on like some people are like that's just like awful, you need to get rid of it, and other people are like it's so cool, you should keep that. So
I'd get rid of it.
Yeah, it's a little dark.
I mean, it's definitely unique, but you'd have to redo it to touch it up anyway, because there's so many little spots and things here and there. This is interesting. A door right here. Do you think that was original?
Well,
Or do you think that
originally
was-
there's a French door.
Yeah, we
Okay.
have the original ones upstairs, and
Someone
goes back.
Yeah.
Wow. I bet they're beautiful. I love. There's something about like tiny doors. I don't know. Like, if a house has a small door, it's just automatically more interesting.
These are the only three one that will replace, but the rest of the house is wood window.
Okay.
These are already replaced when we bought it, but just fixing this room up as a bedroom.
Okay.
So this is the room that was like the ceiling was cut out, and so it was just totally open into the attic.
Yeah. When you first come in, we just this whole thing, half of the ceiling was open to the attic.
Yeah, there was no like floor joists or anything. This was a huge project because there was like a leak in the roof like right above this, and so just like years of water damage, and then squirrels had chewed a hole into the siding, and so they were like, this was like their home and like under the floor, and so it was just.
Sometimes you get them running around having fun on the floor.
Yeah,
But
so we were able
with
to
a one doorway,
a one-way door.
one-way door, so they all exit out, and then they go somewhere, and then because they chew back in. So around the hole, we put like metal pieces so they don't chew back in.
Well, it sounds like you've tackled, at least what I'm assuming, some of the worst parts of the household. Do you feel like is the worst part still yet to come?
I think the worst part for now for me is the porch, the front porch.
Now, is the front porch what you have the GoFundMe for?
Yeah.
All right, we can mention that. These guys have a GoFundMe account. They are
Yeah.
trying to rebuild the front porch on top of everything else that you're doing in this
Yeah.
home. So we'll definitely put a link up to that.
We never advertised it before, but
Yeah. Like you're just gonna have it there.
Yeah, you probably need as much help as you can get because it's not cheap, especially right now.
yeah.
Material
Lumber
costs,
and
yeah.
It's crazy.
$80 sheet of plywood. I just down in Home Depot. Yeah, so it's expensive.
All right, well, show us more.
It's gonna be a master bedroom and master bathroom.
Okay. I love this. Are these loose?
Yeah.
No, you can set up.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so we have a clawfoot tub in the other bath. Well, that's the bathroom, but we're gonna make it a guest room. So we'll bring the clawfoot tub in here and have a double sink and toilet.
I like that idea. Okay, so it's kind of an ensuite for this bedroom.
Yeah.
And where's the tub going? Is it going
We'll go in
this
this
way?
corner.
Okay, I was thinking it would look really pretty under those windows.
It's safe now to walk on. So
Okay, good to know.
I was painting today. This is for the bathroom that we'll show you guys in a minute.
Okay.
But yeah, so this is what was sagging that you saw from the street. And they had to jack it up 7 inches, so now it's much better.
yeah, we like to go out here, have lunch or dinner, watch the sunset.
Oh yeah. You do have a great view.
Beautiful. I would probably be out here all the time.
Yeah, it's really nice. So you can see up here, this is kind of another place where it was divided. So like this half was one apartment, and then those 2 rooms were part of another apartment.
And on the door, there's apartment numbers.
Yeah, it's so weird that they put a jog in the wall to be able to get this full doorway.
Yeah, and then this here was like a weird like hallway to nowhere. So it was like if you look at our shower from in here, like that was just like you could go in this way. It was
That was for the servant staircase.
yeah, well that's where the the
Yeah.
servant staircase
Okay.
was, and then at that point it was just a little.
Right, once you closed it off.
So this
This
is the
looks
bathroom that
great.
we're working on.
Oh, fantastic tile.
We kind of get inspiration from like the internet and do it our own with the borders. So just kind of design it.
How long did it take you to lay the floor?
Within 2 days.
Yeah, 2 days.
That's not bad.
But 90% of the
That sounds
success
fun.
is in the planning. Like we have this idea a long time ago. And
Yeah, took a long time to decide what we were
like
gonna
what
do.
we wanted to do.
Yeah. Well, it looks beautiful.
Yeah.
We come in here, it's the first time tiling this bathroom. Kind of proud of it.
Oh,
Shower
it
that
looks
took
great.
forever.
Yeah.
I love
Several
that
months.
tile too.
Yeah.
So why did it take so long? Was it just trial and error, or?
Just
It was winter, and so we were only heating the rooms that we were staying in, and so in here it was freezing, so we lost a lot of motivation.
Okay.
And then, what else?
oh,
Deciding what we were gonna do.
design,
Yeah, designing
getting the
it.
tile, getting the stone pieces, like what
Yeah.
design we want.
Yeah.
And then doing itself, the subway tile take a long time for us.
Yeah, to like lay the concrete. We had someone do that for us, like lay the concrete down, and then just doing all the different steps, waterproofing it, while putting drywall and cement board, and it's just a lot of steps.
This is first room done because we already ordered the washing machine and the dryer.
Yes,
So
So you're like, priorities. We need
Right.
clean clothes.
it's like our laundry room, part of our kitchen, and part of our bathroom all in one.
I'll show you the place we live in now. So this is a 2 room that we fix up for now and we're staying in it.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, this isn't so bad. It does feel nice and separated from the rest of the house.
Yes.
Living room and then
This is our kitchen.
the kitchen.
So we
I
have
love it.
Yeah,
Look how
refrigerator.
organized you are.
We have a hot plate.
Yeah. Instant pot, air fryer, blender, got everything we need. So
That's awesome.
This tree, like when it changes color, is so pretty, and it's it's really nice. And that's a steamboat house on the other side.
Yeah.
It's another famous house. Yeah.
yeah. So these windows took us about a month to restore. This whole room, I think,
Very bad shape.
I don't know what was it window has here. It was just like covered in smoke.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is you called this the
This
smoke
is
room?
yes, this was the smoke room. So you wouldn't know that from standing in it now. But like the windows were so smoky and they had like sticky stuff on them, we couldn't open them. So the ceiling was brown and we thought it was painted that color, but then once we like started cleaning it
Yeah.
and stuff like that, it was like
For the longest time, we thought it was brown. It was
It's
just
just
ashes.
The
This is my
floors
favorite.
look great.
yeah, we didn't do anything. So
Nothing to
we're very lucky that they're in this shape. So.
just clean it up.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, there you go. Little piano setup. I love that arch.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
This is where we have our first look for our wedding
yeah,
pictures.
first look pictures.
Oh,
Yeah, so it's nice. It's cute.
Yeah.
this is very nice.
So you can see now that if we separate the living space with the walk-in, so it's not too bad.
Mm-hmm.
Just like 2 different spaces.
Mhm.
When you walk out here, you go to work. When you go back, like take a shower, go back home. I guess.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this was the first room that we had done, and so like we had basically this, and then our kitchen was like in this little corner.
Yeah.
But then a lot of stuff that
That
was
was
in
rough.
there was like crammed in here. So
So
Wow.
once we have a room done, it
it's
feels so
amazing.
different.
It feels so big.
You're
Yeah.
like, wow, we have an apartment now.
Once we get the downstairs done, that's gonna be a
We're not gonna know what to do with ourselves.
huge much space.
Figure out what is important to you and what are your goals
Here they have some great views, 2 great views. Dormers.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big attic as well.
This is huge. Are you gonna finish it one day, or what's your
Hopefully,
plans for it?
Yeah, so that's kind of the idea. Hopefully, like with the master bedroom being there, that it has like access to this, so then it'll kind of be like we have that room, but also like this room is like a living space.
Plans for this space. So you said maybe connect it to the master. So are you thinking like giant office or closet or like a hangout space for multiple people, or do you want it to be kind of your own private retreat tied to the master suite?
I think it would be our own private retreat.
Okay.
Yeah. So you see, like that door on the left is like the master bedroom that you saw, and then there's the hallway. So it can kind of be either like mainly ours, but then, you know, if we feel like having people up there.
Yeah, I just want to use a view. Like there's some great views here. So
Yeah, this is awesome.
We want to keep like the vaulted ceilings as long as we can make it like efficient with heating and cooling.
Mm-hmm.
This is the project that you're trying to go fund me. Okay.
You can see where like that's like that one
It
is
is
just like
great.
totally soggy and those are breaking.
they're falling down quite a lot. So it lays out.
Yeah, is that supposed to be straight?
Not straight, but like not that much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
So you can kind of see like what was in the past.
Yeah.
You see the window here?
Yeah.
Instead of that door. That the window too.
Huh. Very cool.
You can kind of see history through this picture right here. The
Yeah.
black porch.
Some sort of a lattice back there.
There's no porch here. There's no upper porch. It's added in. Here you have the upper porch.
Right.
So
Very cool.
yeah, just throughout the years you can see what was added, what was not added.
Right.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.